the conflict starts very quickly. Like
this
we're
movie's
like 2 minutes
only
in.
an hour and 24 minutes
Yeah.
long. Like
Really
there's no time to waste.
Yeah.
They're like, let's open on a big ass pumpkin, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yes, finally, we've made it.
Halloweentown.
This is probably the most popular one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of all the Disney Channel originals.
For sure.
We were obviously, very excited going into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that I think I've definitely seen the most times.
Yeah.
And that being said, coming out of it, I feel like I have less to say about it than the others. And I don't know if that's just because I'm more familiar with it or... Because, we talked about this going into this. Like, we knew it's not going to match up to Brink.
I don't know that anything will, to be honest.
I don't think the whole time we do this that anything's going to beat Brink. It was
so good.
It was a little unexpected about how good it was going to be, too. Like, it's going to be hard to surprise us like that again.
Yeah, for sure. Because I was telling you, like, I haven't seen Halloweentown that many times. But, yeah, I still, I still remembered, how I felt, how I knew I felt about it. And I think I still feel the same way, which, is good.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
It is, a classic. And I watch it every year because, I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, I do really like watching this movie. But my family likes this movie.
Yeah,
Like, my mom knows Halloweentown.
Right.
I think she watched it on Disney Plus, actually. And I think she watched all of them this past Halloween, by herself.
Yeah.
It's also, what month is it, May?
Yeah.
So it's a little different. They do hit different during Halloween.
I think they really do. I think they definitely do.
There's something about that aesthetic. I bet you more than anything else, it's maybe the makeup. Because all the prosthetics and stuff, like you were saying in there, that has become maybe my favorite part of this movie, especially now, because it was the last. This was on the back end of all that stuff. This is right before CGI got inexpensive enough where everybody could use it for whatever. And sure, some of the people were just dogs and stuff.
Sure,
but
they weren't all monsters necessarily. They were
that's
just
the thing that's crazy. Half the people in this town are just half the monsters in Halloweentown are just people wearing top hats.
Yeah. Because even if those people were witches and warlocks, the grandma and her friend Harriet, who are both witches, they dress stereotypical witches kind of. They have cloaks and velvety dresses. Then there's just people in a ball gown walking around, and it's
yes, in the movie theater, one of the people that got kidnapped, I think she was a zombie. So this maybe isn't the best example, but she was just wearing a wedding dress. But that's not even the example we need, Emily, because one, the first guy you see is the one of the British Royal Guards getting people
with
on
the big
and off
hats.
the bus.
Yeah, he's just
that?
wearing a Nutcracker outfit.
Yeah, and then
he's a monster.
And it's not this is a man that or a nut. This isn't a Nutcracker man. He doesn't have a thing on his back or whatever.
Right?
That'd be kind of cool.
Sure.
It'd be Christmas,
just a guy.
but it'd be something, you know. And then you have a man who's literally just dressed up like a private in the Civil War, and then you have the ice cream man.
Look, but maybe that's his job in Halloweentown,
I guess so. That's true.
He could still, you know what I mean? He could still be a warlock or something, but he has a regular day job.
Yeah, sure. Still got to make some cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole fact that they even called the town Halloweentown kind of didn't, especially paying attention to the movie this time around in kind of a way that I never had before. Halloweentown seems like a pejorative term. And it's I'm not saying Kalibar had a point, but Kalibar kind of had a point.
In defense of Kalibar? Okay. Because maybe, because they were talking about how all the monsters and all the humans used to live together on Earth and whatever, and then things just got a little too heated. The humans didn't like it, and it was not good.
Well, the monsters are the ones who didn't.
They became bad.
Exactly. And they were
because they were
this isn't who we are.
Yeah.
Which is, okay.
But, so maybe... Because they were talking about how, human Halloween traditions are, bastardized versions of, monster traditions. But then to call your world you make Halloweentown
Yeah.
is really funny to me. But then it's like, or maybe it was the other way around where like the humans stole that word from the monsters,
damn.
but like, I don't know.
I would like to. This is the kind of lore I would really like to get into.
Does someone have this written down?
Yeah, that's what I'd really like to know.
Yeah.
Maybe in like the graphic novel companion to Halloweentown, it goes more into that. Yeah, that's like what they say about the Matrix movies. Is that because I watched the first maybe 15 minutes of the second one, and as soon as Jada Pinkett Smith showed up, I was like, no, this is not going to be good. And I've heard from other people that like the Matrix 2 and 3 are like real confusing and weird.
Yeah, they're weird. The second one's weird. I haven't seen the third one, but
I've heard that like and I think this is probably just people being like losers or whatever. I don't know what the term would be, but they're like, well, if you read the comic and then you watch the animated series,
yeah, and it's like why should I have to do that?
Yeah, why do
should
all
I
that
have
work?
to do that?
Just tell me the story. You obviously want to tell it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point where like that stuff is cool.
Yeah, like it should be like additive.
Yeah,
not
right.
like you shouldn't have to like rely on.
Yes, make it world expanding. Don't make it. Yeah. And that's
because I know that's what they did with like the Mandalorian, right? I think I don't watch that show, but like something about I know Baby Yoda's not his name, but like something with like Grogu or whatever, he gets reunited like with the Mandalorian in a different show. So then when you start like the newest season of The Mandalorian, they're like together again. And if you didn't watch that other show, you would have no idea
is
what
that happens.
That's what I read online. I haven't watched much of like the Star Wars shows, but like that's what
oh shit, I think that's right.
Like,
that
that's
now
so
that you say
annoying.
that. I think that happened in Boba Fett where they got back together. Oh, that's crazy.
Isn't that weird? Like
yeah,
I don't get it.
That is shitty. Because
it's like why not just make that part of just make the first show like bigger.
Well, because even that episode of Boba Fett is just an episode of The Mandalorian. Like, I think Boba Fett's maybe in it, but like they do, they make a whole thing where they do a big wipe and then there's a Mandalorian ship and like all this stuff. So that's interesting. Because when you started saying that, I thought you were going to talk about how like The Mandalorian does that world expanding thing because
and like I'm sure as its own, like by itself, I feel like it probably with like its own storyline.
Aside from like the movie, it stands apart from the movies like super well and everything like that. But
which is cool.
Oh yeah, my God, Jon Favreau, what a guy! Director of Elf.
Did he direct Elf?
He did direct
funny.
Elf. Yeah,
is he in it? Does he have like a cameo in it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. If I were a director, I would have a cameo in everything I did. Yes.
Would you do it where you have like a tiny speaking role, or would you just Hitchcock walk through the background?
I feel like the Hitchcock walk through the background is funnier.
Yeah, for sure.
He's just like walking his dogs. Like that's just hilarious.
I like in Rear Window when he's in the piano player's apartment. Yeah. He's like yelling at that guy.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Oh yeah.
movie rules.
I'm a huge Jimmy Stewart fan.
Oh my God, don't even get me.
What about Harvey? You watch Harvey?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I got it on DVD somewhere. If I find it, I'll bring it to you. I mean, you could just watch it online like a normal person, but it's better when there's a little trade-off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that was a big part for me and my soon-to-be wife. How we got together. She like gave me a bunch of DVDs that she had like burned and stuff, or her dad had burned.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guess what? You always talk about how your dad's like into the Ring cameras, and I'm like, so is my grandpa.
Dude.
My grandpa has so many burned copies of like movies. Like that's how we watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation every year. Is like a disc copy that he. It just is like written in Sharpie.
Yeah. Oh, it's classic. I remember the first time a kid ever showed up to school. Ryan Snyder. Mm-hmm. Nicest guy in the world, maybe 2 feet tall tops. We were talking, Kids Bop was like super popular when we were in second grade, and he's like, "Oh, I have a copy of Kids Bop," and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then the next day he came in and he had burned the whole Kids Bop album onto a different thing.
Yeah.
And he like wrote, and it was like Kids Bop 3 or something.
3,
which is
hilarious.
That is kind of wild. What a cool way to tell time.
Right, which number Kids Bop? Because I had a Kids Bop CD, but it was like in the teens for sure. Like I want to say it was like 13 or something.
That's a good one. That's a classic. I have no idea. Man, I feel like that's something that's not Kids Bop necessarily, but like there used to be a lot of, CDs that were like collections of things.
Yeah.
Like obviously the Now stuff, but I remember Matthew having one that was like rap for kids or something like that, and it was all like rap music.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was like
Will
maybe
Smith
it was just
stuff?
centered.
Like,
No, I think it was like real rap music, but they would just like bleep out the bad words or something.
yeah. So it wasn't like new songs made just
Yeah.
for children.
No, it was something weird.
Yeah.
Like it was because it was very like gangsta, I think, was in the title of the CD. Like that was a big
Yeah.
part of their marketing was
Yeah.
like, we're going to make the album cover look like somebody graffitied
painted,
it on
yeah.
it or whatever, which, my God, whatever happened
That's
to
so
that
funny.
aesthetic. So good. Top notch.
It's funny.
Geez, back to, I forgot we were talking about
Halloweentown.
Halloweentown. You know something that I just got to say?
Mhm.
So I actually didn't hear it when we watched the movie because I
Mhm.
was probably talking about my Batman
Your
days.
Batman costume.
But I mean, probably the most famous quote from this movie is Debbie Reynolds saying, "Being normal is vastly overrated."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm going to say every girl because I've
Mhm.
never seen a guy do it. I think every girl who like went around saying that or had that as her yearbook quote
Yeah.
was just a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just like a real jerk. Like
Yeah.
just a no personality. Like I don't know why they glommed onto that, but I hate it. Because
Yeah.
listen to me. If you right now, there's nothing special about you.
Oh my God. Jesus
I
Christ.
know it's harsh, but it's the truth. There's nothing.
Because I think, like, once you, like, okay, because in the movie, like, yes, Marnie, she has, like, all her weird interests, like hieroglyphics, Jesus Christ.
Oh
but,
my
like,
God, she's so crazy.
But we don't, like, see her get, like, bullied or, like,
Right.
picked on. She has two friends at her house,
Yeah.
like, when the movie starts, who are, like, trying to get her to go out and hang out with them, and her mom says no. But, like, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but her being, like, picked on and stuff is not, like, it's not part of it.
You're right. And you know what?
Even though they talk about how constantly she's like, well, I just like weird stuff. And it's like,
Yes. And that's the thing. It's yes.
the only one
that's
saying
what
it's
it
weird is your brother. And he's your little brother.
But
like,
also, what bothers me is Marnie is saying it's weird.
yeah.
She's like, I'm into weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like, get a real personality. And if you want to like this stuff, just like it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
God, that shit drives
I
me
feel
so
like,
crazy.
and like, when you're like 13, maybe it's hard to like see through that,
Yes,
like past
you're
that.
Right, you're right.
But we're watching this like as adults, I
That's
guess.
true.
So like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, stuff's not that weird. Like, you like Halloween? Like, that's literally, like, that's what Hot Topic is for. Like, that's for people who love Halloween and like Jack Skellington. There's stores for it. Like, you know, it's fine. It's okay.
Exactly. You're not like some kind of outlier. There's a very large, if niche community for everything that you're into. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that those girls who normal is vastly overrated. I think a lot of them probably have Jack Skellington tattoos.
Because it's just like,
Sally tattoos for sure.
because I feel like when people talk about like pick me girls, sometimes they get like a little too.
Oh yeah.
It's like you're being like,
what is that?
So like, I don't know how to. I think that people are like over this term now anyway. But like, there's all those girls, or at least when I was like younger, that it was like, oh, I'm not like other girls. I'm not blonde, and I don't like pink, and blah blah blah. And it's like, where am I going with this? Not that this movie gives off that, just because there's not really
No.
that many other like
But I hear
kids
what
in the
you're
movie,
saying.
like so it doesn't matter. But like. And then there was the whole subset of girls who were like, well, I'm not like that, blah, blah. I'm different. I'm so deep. I'm so misunderstood. But then I think sometimes when people talk about those people, they get a little too harsh. Like, it's like, look, we're
Yeah.
all in middle school. We're all in high school. We're all
Right.
just trying to figure it out. The problem I have is when people don't outgrow it by the time they're an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because I was probably like that a little bit when I was in middle school. But I had like lots of girl friends that I hung out with. I wasn't like not hanging out with other girls and stuff. But
yeah.
But I like out, you gotta grow up. You gotta realize that's weird. Like,
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to apologize for staring at the camera and yelling
No,
at them, but
don't.
you know what? I get it. Like, yeah, it's
Once you realize
stuff.
that everybody
That's
is
what
going
I'm
through the
saying.
same shit,
Yes.
life just becomes so much more understandable.
And
Like,
you're just,
you know, you don't have to make up a problem to have with the world. Like, it's okay.
Yes, Emily. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Fucking Marnie.
Fucking
I'm
Marnie.
13. Okay. That's like the third line in this movie when she says she's 13. I'm practically an adult now, or whatever she says.
Yeah.
This movie
classic.
picks up very quickly.
It really does.
Really
Shot
fast.
of a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Everything. And then they just here's the entire
Yeah,
problem
yep.
that we're having. You know what though? We said it in the thing. There's no kids in Halloweentown.
No.
Except Luke.
Except Luke.
Who's the bus driver now? Which
Yeah.
that makes me mad. Because you know
What else was he gonna do?
go to school.
What school?
That's the problem.
no
That's the
children.
problem right there.
He was standing around with like two other kids on the street corner by the lamppost or something.
Right. I learned that's Luke's school, baby.
Yeah.
Learning on the
School
streets.
of Hard Knocks.
Yep. That's just Luke's style. Yeah, but aside from him, because making him the bus driver, like, I feel like, oh, we gave this ugly guy a job. You know what I mean? Like, oh, good for us. And that's just, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's why he turned to Kalibar in the first place. You guys only see him as a something, I don't know what he is, a troll or something. But
Yeah, I think, yeah.
he means troll-like qualities. He could be
Yeah.
the Tooth Fairy for all we know.
Also, because who is it there? I think it's the cab driver who tells him this, where he's like, he had a couple warts removed in a nose job, and now he thinks he's all that. The implication that like plastic surgery exists in like the monster world is hilarious to me.
Right.
Like, that's so funny.
Yeah, I
It's
like that.
what would be I don't know. But they let this teenager get a rhinoplasty, an extreme one.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
From a shadow creature, by the way. He's bragging about talking to a
Well,
shadow
yeah, that's
creature.
true. I guess Kalibar maybe just like did it magically.
Oh, yeah. 100%,
probably was not
100%.
like.
I am surprised. It does. If we had seen like a Frankenstein plastic surgeon, though, which, okay, first of all, good idea right there. But that would have fit right in the town when they if there was a place like that right next to the barber shop, like it would have fit right in with
And
the
a
whole
dentist.
aesthetic of that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
My question is like, so all the creatures in Halloweentown are monsters, but they're not all magical. Like, they just might have whatever abilities they're like the vampires or whatever. They just do their vampire thing. So they have like a normal guy like pulling teeth. I mean, he says he's a tooth fairy, whatever, but it still hurts this vampire who's getting her fang pulled out. If you were not like a witch or a warlock, why would you not just open up a business that does everything?
What do you mean?
Like, because like you were saying, the magic in this movie is so loose.
Yep.
And the grandma's like, if you just wish it,
Yeah.
let yourself have it. That's how it works. Like, if I were a witch, I would just open up a store that does everything. Oh, you need a tooth pulled? I'll do it. Painless.
Right.
Bang. Oh, you need your hair cut? Bang. And maybe all the monsters have like come together and agreed that like that's not right. You can't monopolize the industry like that. But if I were a witch, I would be like, I'll do everything instantaneously and painlessly for everybody.
Great point.
Like, why wouldn't they just?
Yeah.
But maybe they want it to be like,
fair or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
I guess
like they were like, we went to school and have families and jobs. She's,
sure.
like, saying
But
something
also,
like,
I
get
mean,
it.
I think that they could probably find some other, like the economy would be, the entire economic structure of Halloweentown would be completely different. But that's a you bring up a good point though, because I think more in the like second or third one, I think the mom is really harsh on like magic can't solve all you can't
your
use magic to solve all your problems.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
And why not?
According to Grandma.
Yeah. All you got to do is wish for it, which what a 90s like message to get across in this movie. Like, if you want something, it's yours. You
Right.
deserve it. Like
This was pre 9/11. We thought it was all.
That's right. That is
everything was
absolutely
gonna
right.
be great.
Yep. God. What a idealistic world Halloweentown was. It was different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I haven't really even playing it during like Halloween times and stuff the past couple of years, just kind of like had it on in the background and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of, unless you're like, I mean, this could probably be said for almost every movie we're gonna watch on this list, but unless you're like, you know, doing something like this or like getting high and just hanging out with your pals, like in the background taking a nap is kind of the best way for these movies to be watched, I feel like. You know, no offense.
This Halloweentown is very cozy.
Yeah.
It really is. Like the color palette, the like just all, you know, like just all of it.
It's
That's
autumnal.
fine. It's very,
It's an autumnal
and like
film.
whereas like Brink, it's like kids are getting hurt in that movie. Like like actual bad things are like these kids are being like maimed in Brink. And like I feel like Halloweentown, and maybe it's because it starts like so quickly that like it just doesn't like feel as like high stakes as like I know it's supposed to be. You know, like I wish this movie had been like 10 minutes longer.
100%.
Just like in the beginning, you know, like I think that would have just made it like.
I mean, I think if they had tossed literally the scene you described, if they had tossed something right at the beginning of Marnie getting bullied on Halloween, even if it's like there's that weird girl whose mom doesn't let her go out on Halloween, and then she has to like ride her bike home and then start, you know,
and
everything
like
else
sees
happens.
everybody,
like that would be way better. I think it would like show kind of because Marnie is like she's a really strong-willed character, and so part of that is like even when, you know, her mom and grandma get like frozen, which is not a spell to kill them, they're just frozen.
Yeah, they made sure to let the audience and the children know, like, don't worry, it's still worth it to try, guys.
Like it feels like she feels still very capable. So I think again, if you showed her like getting bullied for stuff, it would have made a lot of points better, but it also would have been like, okay, so she's not necessarily all that in a bag of chips, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because she just immediately starts off being so bratty. And I know it's because her mom is like being ridiculous. Like her mom is objectively being ridiculous.
No, Marnie has a point.
But like Marnie, and you know what else I was thinking is, so like, you know, towards the end, she puts the talisman in the jack-o'-lantern. And like, she's like hearing her grandma's voice. She's about to like be frozen, and she makes herself let go of the thing. But even that's like doesn't feel that. I really wish that there had been and then when they all join hands, it's more about like all of them or whatever. And I wish there had been something that was more like, you know, in Spider-Verse when Miles has to like jump off a building because that's the only way his powers are gonna work is like he has to save himself. I don't know, like it felt like that's what those scenes were trying to do, but they just like fell kind of flat. Sure. Like, because it's like it's about Marnie and also about her relationship with her mom and saving the town, and then it's just kind of like, well, I thought there was gonna be this awesome moment where Marnie's like powers like really kick in, like when she needs them or something, and it just and I know she's not trained or whatever, but then it's just kind of like, eh.
That's true. It feels like there should be, you're right,
some like big moment for her where she's like, I am like. I can do this, like, but instead she just is like, I'll let go of the thing. It's like, which is important, but like, okay, like, I don't know.
That's a great point. I feel like that would have happened in almost any other kids movie. Like she would have had a second in her like Avatar state where like some serious power like comes out of her and she like beats Kalibar. But I mean, we did see a little tingle from Dylan.
Sure, promising. That's cool.
That guy, you know, he's got. I'm going to still put him in, like, the Gilbert category. Like, I'm not necessarily going to differentiate between Gilberts and Dylans as we move forward. But, I think he's still got a little of that Gilbert in him for sure. And most of his camera time was him saying something and then getting hit for it and then saying, ow. Like, half of his lines were, ow, you know?
Yeah.
And then Sophie...
Oh, she's so cute. She really is like super adorable.
Yeah, but she's not very bright.
Yeah, but she's like
she memorized
6.
the thing.
She's like 5 or 6.
I guess.
She memorized the thing. Sophie, I feel like is more again, like I was saying, because she's like a little kid, all she's thinking about is like, I want a cookie. I want to get into this gate. And
base
so like
desires.
it's literally just like her most basic like kids are like like why Jack is like crazy in The Incredibles, because he
Right.
can't control like what he just thinks he should
And I think we probably see Sophie do the most magic,
Yeah.
at least of the three kids.
Like that you can
without
definitely
like,
tell
second
is
to the
her,
grandmother
like,
only.
yeah.
Yeah. So if Sophie got like an Avatar state little thing, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I think that would have also made sense.
Yeah.
The citizens of Halloweentown seem really dumb when
They seem so oblivious to everything.
because like Kalibar pops up and he like reveals his plan, and they all seem kind of scared of him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so what's he gonna do after
Yeah.
that? But what are they gonna do? Like, if he had succeeded, they probably just
Then
go
what-
along with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
And like, I mean, the people of Halloweentown are sheep, I guess is what I'm trying to say, which is probably how
Yeah.
Kalibar became mayor in the first
Probably.
place. I wonder who his like opponent was, because he said there was an election.
yeah.
I wonder if it was like one of the jack-o'-lantern head people,
Right.
and they just like can't talk. And it's like, well, I guess if it's between
Well-
a guy who can't talk and a guy who can,
Yeah.
then I guess we'll go with Kalibar.
There's probably some level of like classism and racism that happens in Halloweentown, of like the people who look like
100%.
humans are probably
Yes,
you know?
it does seem like the witch and warlock class is like
Yeah.
basically in Harry Potter. It's like
Right.
that same kind of thing. They're kind of stampeding on them,
Yeah.
which really got swept under the rug a little bit in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Could have used more time on that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if it were
don't
written
know
by
that-
somebody else, sure. I think it was probably intentional.
All right. So
Next up.
next week is Xenon. Oh man.
So exciting.
Okay, so here's the next couple.
Mm-hmm.
Xenon, which is gonna be, you know what? Because Xenon and Brink have something that movies of this caliber have. Like, I love when they have it, and it's an original song,
Oh, okay. True.
which is the one thing Halloweentown is missing.
Yeah, that's true.
And the theme,
The Halloweentown
Yeah.
soundtrack is like pretty weak.
it's all
It's really just like
whatever.
noise, like just like sound effect kind of like, oh, like just stuff like that. Like there's not really any. Like,
And I like the main Halloweentown theme enough. That's like the
Yeah.
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But if
But
they had their own original song,
Yeah, that's
it
so
would've been
true.
so good.
Like they could have all just had like a little like dance, like
Yeah, well, they
They'll
were
just have,
all
like,
the
a little
monsters were like full dancing in the background post Calibar.
Yeah, that's true.
The ice cream man was busting a move. Xenon, great. Then Can of Worms, which is
Yeah.
another Halloween one,
Oh, okay.
which is going to be really, I think, weird. And then the 13th year. You want to talk, Emily? You want to talk Gilberts? The 13th year.
Full of them.
The 13th year has my favorite Gilbert of all time.
That's hilarious.
His name is Jesse, and he is.
It's kind of a cool name for a Gilbert.
Oh, just wait. Not wait till you get eyes on
Okay.
that bad boy. And then Smart House,
Yeah.
which man, I don't think I've seen that one since like watching the Disney Channel as a kid. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Johnny Tsunami, unreal. Johnny Tsunami 2 also back on board. That's got to be somewhere on here.
Is that surfing?
Johnny Tsunami is surfing,
Cool.
and then I can't remember. One is like a snowboarding thing. It's either like I think he's either just a surfer in this one, or there's a thing where like he's a surfer but he's got to learn how to snowboard, or he's
Yeah.
got to learn how to skateboard or something like that.
Which I feel like probably wouldn't be that hard. If you were good at surfing, you could
Yeah.
probably be good
Oh
at
yeah,
surfing.
I mean I
Like,
think that's probably the whole point of that movie is
Yeah.
he's just really good at stuff. And then we got a couple ones that I don't really know very well. One is called Horse Sense, and then Up and Away, which is very little known, very very stupid. And then of course Color Friendship, but that's
yeah.
that's
Got a ways
That's
off for that
exactly.
one.
That's a while away. No
Yeah.
no reason to get too excited about that one. But any closing thoughts on Halloweentown?
No. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It just,
Oh, we should rate it. I guess.
I know.
I think Jake
Well, I gave
texted
Brink
us
a
and said
10.
Yeah, because Brink is a 10.
So, this was definitely better than the first two, just by virtue of like,
yeah. All right.
like Debbie Reynolds is in it.
Oh yeah,
fun,
she's so good in it.
Yeah,
also.
she's
Like,
awesome.
She's
Yeah, she's
she's committing. She's a professional. Great.
Yeah.
You can see why people get obsessed with her.
I would say probably
because of
like
that movie because she's
7.
good. Yeah,
7.
I might give it a little higher. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I like the aesthetic a lot
Yeah.
and all the costume work and stuff is really cool. So I'll give it an 8 for
Yeah.
Halloweentown. I think Jake texted that he gave it a 10, which I wonder what it would be if he had actually been here
seen
to
it?
watch it.
Yeah.
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 We'll never know.
It's no
Maybe
break.
we should get him to. It's not
Be like,
break.
yeah, Jake, you need to watch this on your own time sometime. When you're sitting down and you're about to turn on something horrible, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Put Halloweentown on instead. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
But actually see what you think of it.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like, for us, Brink is a seminal
That's the standard.
moment
Like, I
now.
don't know.
And I mean, Jake, too, but this was a big one because this is where the
This
drop
is
off
like a lot
was
of like
gonna,
nostalgia
see.
factor too.
Exactly.
So it's like don't get blinded by that.
Exactly.
You know?
Like that, you gotta. Brink is that pure uncut, baby. Brink is that pure uncut. It's so good.
Ugh.
All right. Well, I mean, I can't believe Halloweentown came and went so fast.
I
Like
know.
That, but
I know.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get out of here. Snackspot. Patreon.com/snackspot. Doobie-doo.
See you
Doobie-doo.
next week.
There you go.